So, hello student. Today we will learn our next topic. The topic is works of a wind. As you can see in your screen, topic is works of wind. We have already discussed works of river, depositional and erosional landform of a river. Now it is work of a wind. That means it is also an exogenetic forces. That means wind, and it works some activities on the earth surface to leveling down the earth surface. That activities we will discuss here in this topic. Okay, you see, you can see your screen cover. The vegetal cover is very thin in the desert, which wind can easily act upon the desert. Through the erosion and transportation as well as depositional activities of the wind creates various types of landform in the desert area. This type, that means in desert area, if you see the vegetation cover is very thin. Somewhere you will get some vegetation that is also very thin vegetation cover, very like small vegetation cover like cactus, some dates plum, etc. You can see in the desert area. That's why the and the area is very dry. You will not see the impact of rain as well as impact of glacier, etc. But in that area you will see the activities of wind. In desert area basically is famous for wind action. So here the wind also do transportation, erosion and depositional activities, and it creates different types of landforms in the desert area. Okay, you can see in your picture, this is a desert area. This is a desert area. You can see it is a bare ground. There are no vegetation cover, only sand, dry particles you will see in the desert area, and the climate is very hot. That means extreme climate in the day and night time. So in this desert area you will see only the wind action. You will not see the rain action, you will not see the glacier action. You will see only the wind action in desert area. This is a desert area. You have seen, I think, in movies, in TV, and in news, this picture of the desert. Okay, it is in your mind. Let's see. The desert basically do depletion in the wind basically do depletion in the desert area. Depletion means it is given in your screen. You see the desert area, sand and dust are easily transported from one part to another part. This type of blowing away of sand and dust is called as depletion. Okay, depletion, it is nothing but a process through which the sand and dust particles are transported from one area to another area by the wind action. Is called depletion. Depletion is not a landform. You should remember this point. Depletion is not a landform. It is a process of transferring the transportation of desertic material, sand and dust from one part to another part. You can see one picture here. You can see the first picture. The wind is blowing in the desert area. There have some soft rocks, small sand particle, as well as some stone, big stone. The small second picture, you see some of the dust particles have blown away by the wind action, but the large stone, big stone, it cannot be transported by the wind action. Okay, and third picture, you can see because of the depletion process, because of the blowing away of dust and sand particles in the desert area, the big stone remains, but the dust is transported easily by the wind. Okay, this process is called depletion. Always remember, this process is called depletion. Okay, next you see we'll see one depositional landforms in the desert area. In the desert area we can see some depositional landform. Among this depositional landform, the important one is sand dune. Sand dune is one type of depositional landform you will see in the desert area. Okay, deposition means it's the materials, the eroded material sand, it's deposited somewhere. It's like stored somewhere. In this storing part, it creates one landform. It is a sand dunes. Okay, see in the in your screen, the definition of sand dunes is given here. I will show you the picture also. What is sand dune? The sand dunes, the sand and dust are transported through depletion and get deposited in certain places where surface may be raised gradually to form a hills. These hills are called as sand dunes. Sand dunes means it simply you should understand. Sand dunes means it is a hill of sand. Yeah, the hill is created by the sand. Through the process of depletion, the sand and dust particles are transported from one area to another area, and it will deposit somewhere in some areas of the desert. And in the desert, when it's stored every day, when it's deposited every day, the dust particles and are deposited every day, it will become like a hill. It will become like a hill-shaped landform, and this hill-shaped landform in the desert is called as sand dune. It is a dust or sand hill. You can say it is a sand hill. It is very loose, and it can be a very huge hill, very high altitudinal hill. Okay, you can see here two picture is given here. These are two sand dunes which are seen in the desert area. Okay, second picture you can see here the dust are you can see the dust. It's are blowing away by the blowing away by the wind, and it is deposited here, and it becomes like a hill. This hill type landform which is created by the sand is called as sand dunes. Always remember sand dunes. Next you see next you can see one process, that is erosional process. Okay, the speedy desert wind transported rocks and pebbles along with the sand. This transported material erode the highlands located on their ways. This type of erosion process is known as abrasion. What is abrasion? Abrasion is a process where the high areas of the desert is cut down by the wind action, by the sand and dust particles carried by the wind. It is a process, and its process is known as abrasion process. Always remember, abrasion is a process through which the high areas or high hill areas, but high altitudinal areas of desert is cut. It's cut down by the process of sand and dust which are blowing by the wind. Okay, so last line you see, try to remember abrasion is a process. It is a process of cutting down of high hill areas of desert area, but it is not a landform. Abrasion is not landform. It is a process of cutting the hill areas of the desert region. Okay, always remember what is abrasion. You may ask in the exam what is abrasion, and you may give the definition of abrasion, and you may give the 4 MCQs. It is called as depletion, abrasion, sand dunes, or like other type of landform. You have to tick abrasion, the process by which the hill areas of the desert area is cut down by the wind. This is called as abrasion process. This is abrasion process. You can see here. The abrasion process. I'll just remove the picture. So the first hill shaped boulder, you can see first hill shaped boulder. This boulder was standing like this, and after wind action, wind is always blowing in that hill area, in the desert area. When the wind is blowing, this is the hill. When wind is blowing every day from this side, the wind bring with it the small sand and dust particle. This sand and dust particles will always hit in this hill, and when it will hit, it will erode some material. And second boulder you can see it have eroded little bit, and third boulder you can see it have eroded more. Okay, this type of landform will create. The first hill is eroded by the wind action, and third hill is created. Okay, this is the erosional process which are basically seen in the desert area. Okay, next you see erosional landforms. Erosional landform. In desert area, you will get basically 2 types of erosional landform. The name as I have given here. The first one is Inselberg, and second one is eardrum. Let us discuss let us study the definition first. Then we will go to the picture. what is called Inselberg, what is called Erdung. You will understand it. So Inselberg, it is a low erosional hills generally seen in the desert, generally formed by the abrasion activities of wind. Inselberg is a low hills which are created, which are eroded by the wind action in the desert area. Okay. Next you see Erdung. Erdung is also a erosional landforms created by the wind action. It is basically seen in the areas of parallel structure of soft rock and hard rock. Soft rocks means very loose material. It can be eroded very easily. Hard rock means very hard. It cannot be erode very easily. So it is basically seen where parallelly soft rock and hard rock is seen in the desert area. Here the soft rocks are easily eroded by the wind, whereas the hard rocks stand as a wind undisturbed. That means Erdung is a erosional landform which are basically seen in the areas where they have basically a parallel structure of hard rocks and soft rocks. Okay, and the wind action, basically the wind activities is very high in the soft rock areas, and wind action is very less in the hard rock areas, because wind can very easily erode the soft rocks, but hard rock area stand like as a hill. Okay, this is parallel structure landform. It is, you can see the parallel structure of landform. Here you can see this first one. This one is Erdung. This was before it was like a hill, but because of the wind action, because of the abrasion activities of the wind is always hitting in the hills, and because of that the down part, the lower part of the hills is basically eroded by the wind action, but the top part is remains the same, and this is called Erdung. This is called Inselberg, not Erdung. This is called Inselberg, and this is Erdung. As I told you, it is parallel structural landform. Parallel structural landform. The here you can see some parallel lines, parallel hill ranges. These hill ranges are very hard rocks. That in between these hill ranges there have some down part and valley part, and this valley part is very soft rock. This soft rock is always eroded by the wind action, but this hard rock, it is undisturbed. It cannot be eroded very easily by the wind action. Soft rock is eroded down and it transported to other part, and the hard rock remains the same. This type of structure you will see in the desert area. This is called as Erdung. Always remember. Okay, I hope you have understood the wind action in the desert area. You should remember what is depletion. You should remember what is sand dune, the picture diagram of sand dune. You should remember what is abrasion, what is Inselberg, what is Erdung. These are the very important thing you have to remember from this topic. Okay, we'll move to the next topic. Next topic is works of glacier. Glacier is also an exogenetic process. This process is also very important in leveling down the earth surface. Glacier is basically you can see in the polar regions, North Pole and South Pole, as well as in the high hill areas like Himalayas, Rocky Mountains, Andes Mountain, Alps Mountain, etc. You can see the activities of glacier. Okay, glacier. Before we go into the topic, we should know what is glacier. What is glacier? Okay, next slide will give you little bit concept about glacier. See the definition of glacier. See, it's given in your screen. You can see in your screen. See, when a large block of ice moves downward, then it is called as glacier. When a large block of ice, large block means it does not mean it is a very small like in your campus. It is small, not like your campus. It is not very small. It is huge. Length can be 5 kilometer, width can be 2 kilometer, its depth can be 1 kilometer. This large block of ice, when it moves downward, then it will called as glacier. Okay, simply we can say that A river of ice is called as glacier. A river of ice is called glacier. Simple definition. What is glacier? The river of ice is a glacier. Okay. See, this is a glacier. You can see the glacier. This is ice. It is moving downward. If it is moving downward, so it is called as glacier. If it is somewhere in hill mountain range, it is not moving, then it is not a glacier. It is ice cap. It will called as ice cap, but it will not called as glacier because it is not moving. But when it's moved, it is called as glacier. See here, this is also a glacier. This is I have put this picture because it is very important. You can see some features here. Inside the glacier, there have some breaks. Line both side of the glacier laterally there have a line, there have a like soil line, land area is as well as the mouth. If this is a glacier, there in mouth there have some soil layer, or there have some soil land area. So this is also very important. This is a glacier. When we discuss the activities of glacier, this picture you should remember. Side of the glacier there have a line like a embankment, as well as the mouth of the glacier there also have a embankment. Okay, this is also a glacier which is moving ice. See, glacier can be divided into two types. There have two types of glacier. One is continental glacier, or you can see ice sheet, and another one is mountain glacier. Glacier can be two types. One is continental, one is mountain. Need not to be confused. Like continental glacier means the glacier which are basically found in the polar region, North Pole and South Pole, Antarctica and Arctic Ocean. If you see, it is full of ice. It is ice covered area. In there you will get the continental glacier, and mountain glacier you will get in the mountains like Himalaya. Himalaya also have lots of glacier like Ganga River. It is originated from Gangotri Glacier. Ganga River originated from Himalaya. It is originated from Gangotri Glacier. There have a glacier. It is Gangotri Glacier. This Gangotri Glacier is a mountain glacier which are basically found in the mountains or high hill areas. Okay. See the definition of continental glacier. Continental glacier, it is also called as ice sheet. The continental glaciers are covering extensive areas over the polar regions. The velocity of this glacier are very slow. This velocity means the movement of this glacier is very slow, less than 1 meter per day. It moves less than 1 meter per day. Its movement is very slow. Though its movement is very slow, but it have huge impact on the earth surface, because it is a large block of ice. You just imagine, if a large block of ice it moves, then what type of impacts, what type of pressure it will create on the earth surface. It will create a huge pressure because it is a huge block of ice. So the continental glacier, it is very slow, but it also have some impacts on the earth surface. And mountain glacier, you see, the mountain glacier occurs mainly in the high hill areas like Alps Mountain, Himalaya, Rockies, and Andes Mountains, etc. The mountain glaciers are moving. It is moving in fast rate. The velocity of this glacier is very fast. Okay. Next, you see, it is one type of erosional landform, glacial horn. Glacial horn. Horn means like you have seen the horn of the cows, horn of the buffalo. It is same like that. So it is glacial horn. It is basically horn means it is a hill peak. The peak of the hill, it is shaped like horn. So it is called glacial horn in the glacier area. See the definition. Glacial horn, it is the erosional landforms created by the glacier. You may ask in the exam, glacial horn is a point 1 in MCQ, number 1 erosional landform, number 2 depositional landform, number 3 transportational landform, number 4 none of this. You have to write glacial horn is a erosional landform created by a glacier. Okay, see the definition of glacial horn. I will show you the picture also. When a mountain glacier flow down from the hilltop it erodes all its sides of the mountain and make its peak sharp and conical shape. Make its peak when a glacier from this hilltop, if this is a hill, if it is moves down from the top to bottom, it's moving this way, it will cut down the surface of the hill as surface of the hill, and because of that the hills becomes like conical shape, and it becomes like very sharp and conical in shape. Such peak are called as glacial horn. Okay, so it is a erosional landform of a glacier. Always remember, glacial horn is a erosional landform of a glacier. Okay, this is glacial horn. See this picture, this mountain peak, all the sides it is eroded by the glacier, so it becomes very sharp and conical in shape, so it is called glacial horn. Okay, next is see one of the important depositional landforms created by the glacial horn was erosional. This is depositional landforms created by the glacier, that is moraines. Moraines are the depositional landforms created by the glacier. Okay, the moraines, what is moraines? You have to remember what is moraines. Moraines is the material which are carried by the glacier. Moraines are nothing but the materials which are carried by the glacier. It is called as moraine. Okay, the sediments which are carried by a glacier are called as moraines. Don't be confused how a glacier can carry the sediment. It is ice only. No, the glacier it is on the surface of the earth. When this glacier is moving from this side to this side, it will exert some pressure on the earth surface. When it exert pressure on the earth surface, it will erode down the sediments from the earth surface. It will level down the earth surface, erode down the earth surface, and it creates some sediments, materials. These materials are called as moraines. Okay, the moraines are of 4 types. The number 1 is lateral moraines. Lateral means side. Always remember, lateral means side, bank of the glacier. Lateral moraines, ground moraines, medial moraines, and terminal moraines. Lateral means side, ground means down of the glacier. Medial moraines means between two moraines, or between two glaciers there have middle part. This is medial moraines. And terminal moraines means it is the front side, the mouth of the glacier. It's front side. It is called terminal moraines or end moraines. See here the different types of moraines. You can see here different types of moraines. You see lateral moraines. What are the lateral? It white color. You can see the hills, and white color it is the glaciers. Lateral moraines are the side moraines. You can see in your screen. Lateral moraines are side moraines. The both side of the both bank of the glacier, both side of the glacier, it is lateral moraines. Middle moraines, that means when two glacier is coming down, and in between there have a moraines, they create a moraines. This moraines is called middle moraines. And ground moraines, which are basically you can see the down of the glacier, it is ground moraines, and at the end of the glacier it is called end moraines. Okay, end moraines. We can see one here one by one. We will discuss one by one. See, the first one is lateral moraines. Lateral moraines, when the moraines are carried to the steep valleys side, are called as lateral moraine. When moraines are coming, when moraines are basically deposited in the side of the glacier, then it is called lateral moraines. Okay, then ground moraines, when the moraines are carried over the valley floor. Notice there have a spelling mistake. It should not be floor, it should be valley floor. Then it is called as ground moraines. Next is medial moraines. When the two different lateral moraines merge and flow along with the large glacier, then it is called as medial moraine. Two lateral moraines coming and join together, and it two glacier is there in between each flow. It's deposited, then it is called as medial moraines. And terminal moraines, the moraines deposited in the terminus or end of the glacier, then it is called as terminal moraines. Okay, I think you have understood. You try to remember this diagram of moraine, then you will understand. So this is the important point. The moraines is a depositional landforms of glacier. Moraines is not erosional landform, it is a depositional landform of the glacier. Besides moraine, there are some other types of landforms you will see in the glacial area. Some other depositional landform in the glacier area. These are the drumlins. Drumlins are one type of landforms, depositional landforms created by the glacier. Esker is also one type of depositional landform, and kem. It is also important depositional landform created by a glacier. Drumlin, esker, and kem. These three are also important landform created by the glacier. You can see here the esker. You can see here the esker. Esker, this type of like embankments, these are called eskers. These are drumlins. It is also like hill shaped landform. It is created in the glacial area, basically in the continental glacial area. The drumlins are created. These are drumlins. Okay, I think you have understood what we have discussed today. Two topics we have discussed. The first one is works of wind, and second one is works of glacier. We have discussed about like depletion of wind, abrasion of wind, sand dunes, Yerdang, Inselberg. Okay, next we have discussed about glacier. What is glacier? What is continental glacier? What is mountain glacier? Okay, we have discussed about different types of erosional landform like glacial horn, and we have discussed about drumlins, eskers. We have discussed about kem. We have discussed about different types of moraines. Okay, so this was the topic for today. I hope you have understood this topic. If you have any confusion, you can directly ask me. Okay, thank you for today.